Hello everyone, Ryan here. So it's time for my review of Illuminae, Illuminae, aluminum foil. That's it, aluminum foil. Aluminum foil has always been somewhat underrated, I feel. I mean, you can use it to make baked potatoes, so many other foods. Well, actually, what I'm really talking about is this sci-fi novel by Amie Kaufman, Kristoff. Yeah. And of course, it's not your typical sci-fi story, primarily because it's told through a collection of emails, interviews, IMs, journal entries, schematics, other military documents, and other more creative forms of communication. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I definitely enjoyed it. I didn't think I was going to like it that much, especially because for me it had kind of a slow start. I would say, in fact, I didn't really become interested until about maybe 60 or even 70 pages in, because I don't know. It just, for me, it just seemed like it felt to me. It felt like they could have started the story a little better. But at the same time, too, I don't really know how else they could have started it. I will say that one thing I noticed that to me it read more like kind of a movie script, and which I don't know if there's plans to make this into a movie or the entire series, because I believe it's supposed to be a trilogy. And so, anyways, getting to the characters, I did like the two main characters, Ezra Mason and Katie Grant. Though I was kind of disappointed. I was somewhat disappointed that there wasn't really a whole lot to describe their personalities, or even as far as anything that describes each of their personal history. But I did get kind of a sense of who they are and what they believe in, though not that much, really, not that much. I mean, so I would say if you're used to stories that have more of a that at least have, if you're used to stories that at least have some kind of origin story to go along with the main characters, then I would say you might be kind of disappointed with the two main characters in this. But that doesn't mean that they're not interesting characters. Anyways, because they are. I mean, I especially liked some of the jokes that, jokes and also quips that Ezra Mason would come up with on the spot. Usually when he was talking to either Katie or to one of his fellow, I guess you could say fellow pilots, and because Ezra Mason ends up piloting, I guess you could say, some kind of battle ship or whatever, and so I'm trying to keep this initial review spoiler free. I will also have a somewhat spoiler-esque written review of it posted on my blog, I'll provide a link to that down below. And maybe later on I'll do a separate spoiler review. I don't know, I guess depending on, let me know if any of you want me to do a separate spoiler review. I would say the only other character I liked was, of course, the ship's artificial intelligence, who goes by the name Aiden, AIDAN. I forget exactly what it stands for, Artificial Intelligent Design or something or other. But pretty much throughout the whole story, it's hard to tell if this artificial intelligence, Aiden, it's hard to tell if Aiden is somewhat, if Aiden's core somehow gets damaged, and then that causes it to take very drastic measures as far as the entire crew of the ship is concerned, or if Aiden just kind of came to that conclusion on its own and decided to take matters into its own hands, because it doesn't really have hands, but just kind of took it upon itself to decide what was best for the entire crew. Because there's another element to the story which I'm not really sure if I should reveal or not, but it's something that spreads throughout the entire ship, throughout the entire crew, and it really messes up everything, really puts a damper on everything. And of course, unfortunately, thousands upon thousands, I don't really know exactly how much, because there's certain points in the story where it'll give like a certain count of people that are affected by this certain event. Yeah, again, the whole time I was reading it, it just felt like I was reading a movie script, or at least reading something that was like kind of like a treatment for a movie, or like a very rough draft of what would eventually become a movie. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I definitely liked it. I would say it's definitely one of the best sci-fi stories that I've read to date. And of course, I have read a lot of older sci-fi stuff, and I would say this definitely, you could definitely put this in the same category as something that's been written by Ray Bradbury, or I would say maybe even H.G. Wells. Although, except the fact that it has kind of a YA element to it, a young adult element to it, because of the two characters, Ezra Mason and Katie Grant. They're supposed to be like boyfriend, girlfriend, or kind of like they have this on again, off again kind of relationship. But that, to me, that really doesn't take away that much from the overall very insightful sci-fi element of the story. It might kind of turn some people off, and I could see why it would in that case. Because anytime you have any kind of lovey-dovey romance thing in any story, it's always kind of hit or miss with certain people. That might be the case in this story too. But for me, it didn't really turn me off that much. Mostly because then you have so many other things going on at the same time that just really overshadows the whole lovey-dovey romance thing. Which, yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm trying to avoid certain details because, again, I want this initial review to be spoiler-free. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, let me know if any of you have read this already, especially if you liked it as much as I did. I mean, overall, I give it definite 5 stars. Definitely 5 stars all the way. In fact, if I could, I would give it an extra star. Yeah, I'm still trying to kind of collect my thoughts on everything that I read, and like I said, there will be I'll provide a link down below to my written review, which will have some spoilers in it, but it won't be too spoilery. And then also too, later on, I'll probably most likely do a separate spoiler review. So yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, 5 stars all the way. And I guess the only other thing I will say is that the ending was good. Definitely a good ending. But then it also left a lot of things open to interpretation, which makes sense because there is a second book, which I believe is titled Gemina. And so yeah, I don't know if when I'm gonna get around to the second one, though I definitely would like to read it, especially if it's as good as this one. I definitely look forward to reading it. So yeah, that'll do it for this spoiler-free review of Illuminae, aluminum foil. And so, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And thanks to everybody who's currently subscribed. I definitely appreciate it. And that'll do it. So next time, as always, keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace.